Hey guys, I am once again procrastinating on not one but two papers, and anyway, I've been at a coffee shop all day reading, and well, that's not true. This morning I had derby practice, and I like to take naps after practice because it's so exhausting, but I couldn't do that today. So there. Anyway, I have been procrastinating with my good friend YouTube, and I've been watching a lot of videos in the last hour or so on totem animals, just because, again, little known fact, I have spent pretty much my entire childhood through now being obsessed with werewolves. And this came up because I was at Target a couple days ago, and I like to wander through the movie section when I'm at Target just because a lot of the times they have things for, $5 or $6. And they, apparently, the ubiquitous they, made another Howling movie. And for those of you who were around in the 80s, the Howling franchise is a series of horror movies, probably some of the best / most terrible werewolf movies ever made, ever. And I love them, and I saw them when I was growing up, and they scared the crap out of me, and I've just been a fan ever since. So apparently they made some sort of sequel. It's called Howling Reborn. It's so terrible. So terrible. So naturally I had to buy it and watch it, and it was terrible. Like, I knew it was going to be terrible. But I don't even care because I love that stuff. So there. Anyway, you know how sometimes you just Google crap and see what comes up? So, like, I'm here not writing a paper, and I'm Googling werewolves, and a lot of kooky stuff comes up when you Google that. And, a lot of stuff about, traditional mythology, and then a lot of stuff about otherkin, and invariably you run into people talking about totem animals, and anyway, just sort of the trail of subjects on the internet leading you from point A to point whatever. So now here I am on YouTube watching videos about totem animals, and I wanted to express a couple of thoughts just because this is something that I do think about, but it's not something that I've really crafted any sort of definitive opinion on, just because honestly I don't know enough about it. My impulse is to say that this is probably some sort of inappropriate cultural appropriation gone wrong. I don't know. I get the idea of having affinities with particular animals, or rather affinities for particular animals. Well, I don't know if you can have an affinity for. Anyway, never mind. I get that, but it strikes me as curious, or maybe not so curious if I'm going to be cynical, which I am because I always am, that most people who subscribe to the idea of totem animals have rather impressive totems. You'll notice that most people seem to claim wolves. In fact, probably the overwhelming majority of people who are into the totem animal thing they think of the wolf as their totem. And the cynic in me wants to say that has more to do with hubris or insecurity or something. And anyway, I don't know. I'm not saying that these people don't have wolf as a totem, because I don't even really know what that means. But as an outsider, it does strike me as curious that everyone seems to have the same 2 or 3 totems. The people who aren't wolves are foxes. Every now and then you meet bear people, or owls and ravens. There's lots of that going on. I mean, you just don't meet people with totems like rat, I don't know, or I can't even think of anything. Sparrow. You know, like less impressive animals. Most people end up with predatory animals, beautiful, endangered, mysterious animals, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of, maybe it's kind of like with gods, where some gods really enjoy having lots of followers. So, you know, they're a lot more open to communication with all sorts of people, whereas others are more exclusive. I don't know, maybe it's like that. Maybe Wolf just really likes people. But it got me thinking about it, and I've often thought that if I had to pick a totem, and if that's even something that you do, mine, and this is like, a lot of people think this is gross, but it's totally true. My totem would be the cockroach. I have a long and complicated history with cockroaches. They occupy a dark and secluded part of my heart that I very rarely share with people who don't know me well. I don't know, I've just always had kind of a thing for them. Like, that's not to say that I want to live with them, or I don't think that they can be creepy and gross or anything like that. And it doesn't mean that I'm really excited about, you know, having one crawl up my leg or get in my hair while I'm sleeping or anything like that. But you gotta respect the cockroach. I mean, they're incredibly resilient, and I just think they're really, really fascinating. When I was in middle school, we were required to do science fair projects, and one of my more successful projects was on the breeding habits of cockroaches, and I kept a tank of them. And my parents were thoroughly horrified initially by this project, but eventually they warmed right up to it, and we just had a tank of cockroaches in the living room, and everyone thought it was gross. We had relatives who would refuse to come over, and I remember at one point we went to, over the Christmas holiday, we went to visit an aunt in Michigan, and I carried my tank of cockroaches with me, and she was not thrilled about this. Anyway, I don't have any anymore. But I really like them, and when I go to zoos or science museums, I always get really excited about the insect exhibits, because there's always tanks of cockroaches, different kinds of cockroaches. My favorite are Madagascar hissing cockroaches. They're pretty fantastic. Anyway, if you saw my room, if you look, there are cockroaches everywhere. Like, I don't mean literal cockroaches, but like, I have a cockroach stuffed animal, and I've got like little plastic, oh look, there's George, little plastic ones that stick to the window, and if you just are in the room, you won't notice them, but if you're in there long enough and you're actually looking around, they're there. I just like them. I don't know, they make me think of perseverance and survival, and sort of triumph in the face of scorn. Listen to me anthropomorphize them. Like, I know it sounds totally weird, but I just think they're really, really fascinating, and I think they're maligned. I mean, they're really not as, okay, maybe they are as gross as people think they are. I don't know. I just, this is weird. Yeah, sorry I'm telling you about this. But there you are. So if you're wolf people, that's great. But I think I'm cockroach people. So feel free to unsubscribe now if you're creeped out.